Alright class, we were discussing the topic vectors, right? In last class we had discussed how we add the vectors graphically, and we know that how to add them alphabetically, right? In today's class we are going to continue the exercise 7b, and in last class we had discussed the last question was question number 10. In today's class we are going to start from question number 12. So first read the question carefully. The diagram shows a parallelogram. The first important word is parallelogram. What is parallelogram? Opposite sides are equal and parallel. ORTS, where OR is R and OS is S. Keep in mind, whenever you are attempting a vector question, such type of question, you need to focus on direction. What does it mean? It says OR is equals to R, right? If we are using somewhere RO in my question, then it will be negative. So that is the first basic and most important thing that you need to understand while you are attempting any question of vectors, right? If OR is R, that means RO is negative. Similarly, if OS is equals to S as given, so SO will be negative S. That is the first most important thing that I told you. Now, continue with the question. Express the following vectors in terms of R and or S. That means your answers must contain either R or S or both. It depends. Okay, starting with the first part, R, T. Now what you need to do, you need to travel from R to T. You need to go from R to T, and you need to find out the vector in terms of R and S. Now we know that it is a parallelogram, right? So in parallelogram, opposite sides are equal and parallel, as I have told you in the beginning of the question. If OR is R, that means from S to T, the same length, the same vector, that is R. If OS is S, that means the vector RT is also S. The first part is clear, that is S. Right? Simple, logical, alright. The second part, you need to find out the vector TS. Now TS will be variable, negative R. Why negative R? Direction. From S to T, if it's positive R, that means from T to S, it's a negative R. Further, part C, OT. Now, the simplest way that I use to explain this type of vector question, you need to go from O to T. You can't move directly. Either you need to move from O to R or O to S, it's up to you, but you cannot move directly from O to T. So what you will do, first you will move towards O to R, then you will move towards R to T, and you are at the point T. Or you can move from O to S and then S to R, S to T, the result is same. So I will say that first I will move from O to R, then I will move from R to T, so ultimately I reach the point OT. And with the concept of vector addition, we know that the letters are same, the resultant is OT. Now you have the value of OR, it's R, the value of RT is S, and that is the answer of OT in terms of R and S. Right? That is meant by in terms of R and S. After C, part D, RS. So, what is the value of RS, or how we will find it? We need to travel from R to S. So, can I go from R to T and then from T to S? Ultimately, I move from R to S. Similarly, you can do that R to O and O to S, you are from R to S, right? So I will write RT plus TS is equals to RS. This step I call the path identification, and that is very important step to find out the vectors. Very, very important. Now RT is S plus TS, it's minus R is equals to RS. So the final answer of RS is equals to S minus R, that is the value of RS. Now you need to attempt part E, that means SR. You will do it by yourself first. You have 20 seconds and then I will explain. Your time starts now. 20 seconds. Done? Now it is very simple, and why? Because RS is the opposite negative vectors of RS. SR is the negative vector of RS. If the value of RS is S minus R, for SR you need to just change the sign. If it's negative R, it will be positive R. If it's positive S, it will be negative S, and that is the value of SR. Right? I hope that all of you clearly understood the concept and all of you had noted this question in your school copies. Right? Moving on to the next question. Question number 13. Simplify the following if possible. Now, if possible means that it might be some questions are not possible. So starting with the first part, and I won't do that, you will do that, and you have 20 seconds for the first part start. Not 20 seconds, in fact 12 seconds, quite enough. So the first part answer, it's RS plus ST, both letters are same. The answer is RT. Right? Second part, RS minus RT. Now you have 20 seconds start. So when you are solving the negative vectors, the first letters of both the vectors should be same, and the resultant will be the reverse order, that will be TS. Alright? Moving on to the next part, part C. You need to attempt it by yourself. 20 seconds start. So RT minus RS, first letter of both the vectors are same, they are subtracting, the resultant will be negative order, it will be ST. Part D, RS minus ST. You need to give it a try first. Now D is not possible. Why not possible? Because in addition, the first letters of both are same, and if the second and the first letter are same, it must be positive. So it is not positive, we cannot add them, and we cannot subtract them because the first letters are not equal. Right? Part E. First, you need to change the position. And what does it mean? You cannot add these two vectors, right? Because we have not the same variable. But I can write that RS, and instead of TS, I will write as ST. When you change the placement, it will be changed in sign as well. So after negative, it will be positive. So RS plus ST is equals to RT, that is the answer, right? Basically the concept of negative vectors. The negative vector of TS will be minus ST, the minus minus plus leads to positive ST. After that, part F, you need to do it by yourself first, and your time starts now. Alright. The first thing, if I observe these two, I can write them TR plus RS, right? You can add them easily. It will be TS minus TU. Now you can subtract these two vectors because the first alphabet of the both vectors is same. So TS minus TU, it will be in the reverse order US. That is the answer of part F. Right? I hope that you have clearly understood the concept of all 6 parts of question number 13. After 13, moving on to the next question, it's question number 14. And the question says, find the value of x and y in the following equations. We have 4 parts, starting with the first one. xy plus minus 3, 2 is equals to 7 and negative 5. Now it's a very easy question, but I will solve the first part so you can solve the remaining 3 parts. We can add these two column vectors, so it will be x plus minus 3 and y plus 2. On the right side we have 7 and minus 5, so that is the first step. After that we can equate the first row. It will be x minus 3 is equals to 7. You can solve it to find out the value of x. So x is equals to 10. Similarly, you can equate the second row. So y plus 2 is equals to negative 5 and y is equals to minus 5 minus 2, it's minus 7. So that are the values of x and y. You can note it down. Done. Alright. Moving on to the next part. 3y minus x minus 8 is equals to minus 6, 9. So you have a minute to solve the question and your time starts now. The second row, it will be y. The minus leads to positive. Y plus 8 is equals to minus 6 and 9. Equate the first row. 3 minus x is equals to minus 6. It will be 3 minus 6. When you shift on the left side, it will be positive 6, and minus x on the right side, it will be positive x. So x is equals to 9. For the second row, y plus 8 is equals to 9 and y is equals to 9 minus 8, it's 1. Right? So I hope that all of you have got the same value. After that, moving on to part C. It says y3 plus minus 4 2x is equals to 6x. You have 1 minute to start part C. Done. Alright class, starting with the part C, it will be y minus 4, 3 plus 2x is equals to 6 and x. Equating the first row, y minus 4 is equals to 6 implies that y is equals to 10. 3 plus 2x is equals to x. To shift x on the left side, 2x minus x is equals to x. Positive 3 on the right side, it will be negative 3. For part D, first you need to add these two vectors. It's 2x minus y and minus minus plus 3. For the second row, 5 minus minus plus 10. On the right side we have 4 and 3y. So this first row it will be 2x minus y plus 3 is equals to 4, or you can write that 2x minus y plus 3 on the right side minus 3, 4 minus 3, 1. You cannot solve x or y because both are unknown. For that purpose we will start for the second row. If you observe the second row, it says 5 plus 10, it's 15 is equals to 3y. Means you can find out the value of y from here. So y is equals to 15 divided by 3, it's 5. Right? You have the value of y, now you can use that value to find out the value of x. It will be 2x minus 5 is equals to 1. 2x is equals to 5 plus 1, 6, and x is equals to 6 divided by 2 is 3. Right? So these are the values of x and y that we had find out by using simultaneous equation. Moving on to the next question. It's question number 15. The question says the diagram shows vectors P, Q and R, right? On a sheet of squared paper or graph paper, draw appropriate parallelograms to illustrate the following vector additions P plus Q. Now first thing, you need to find out the vector P plus Q, and you need to draw the parallelogram, not the triangle. So I will explain the first part, but before that make sure that you had solved these three vectors on your graph paper. And how you can solve that? For let's suppose you need to draw P. First you mark this point on any place of your graph, it does not matter. But after that, what you need to do, you need to find out the column vector of P. And I had told you how we find the column vector from the graph. So let's see, starting from this, ending from this, where and which, how many steps you are taking. So if I talk about the x1, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. On x-axis, I am taking 7 steps. On y-axis, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. On y-axis I am taking 5, but since I am moving downward, so it's negative 5. So that is the column vector of P. Now from on your graph, just mark a point and then do 7 steps on the x, 5 steps on the y, and you will draw the exact vector of P. So I am giving you a time of 30 seconds. You need to draw the vectors P, R and Q on your graph paper. Or at least just write the column vectors of P, Q and R. Alright. On the first part it says P plus Q. Now what I will do, I will place a vector Q at the head of vector P. So Q is 3 steps on the x-axis, so it will be 1, 2, 3. That is my vector Q. And since we are going to draw the parallelogram, so I will draw the vector q here as well. It's 1, 2, 3, and it's q. Now the leftover part, it's the vector p, same vector p. So that is a parallelogram of PQ, right? I've done the first part. Now you need to start with the second one. It says Q plus P. So Q is already drawn. Now you need to draw P here. It will be same parallelogram as P plus Q. Same parallelogram, right? So first draw the parallelogram Q plus P. It will be same as P plus Q. After that I will start with P plus R, but before I will start the question, you should give it a try first, and for that question I give you the time of approximately 40 to 50 seconds. Good. So first it says P plus R, so I will draw random the vector P here, right? After that I need to draw R here, so R will be like this one, right? That is the vector R, and P must be parallel, so again I will draw the second vector P and then the second vector R. That's how you draw the parallelogram of P and R. This vector, sorry, not this one is P, it's R, right? Because I don't have enough space on the grid, but what you need to do, once you plot the point P, then at the head of this point you need to plot point R. It must be upward. Where the point R ends, you need to start P here and vice versa. After part C, start part D, and for part D you have 1 minute, so start. Done? Or you still more time? Alright. So roughly if I need to sketch Q plus R, so at the end of Q I will draw the vector R. So it will be like 2, 3 and 4. So that is somehow your vector R looks like, right? Since it's a parallelogram, now that is your parallelogram with the QR. I hope that you got the same image and your working strategy should be same as I have told you, right? Alright. Now after question number 15, moving on to the last question of today class, it's question number 16. Illustrate graphically the following vector sum using the vector given in the diagram P plus Q. Now you need to add P plus Q graphically. So what I will do here, at the head of P I will make the vector Q, right? So let's suppose I say that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 approximately. That means the vector Q that is parallel to the given vector, it should be look like this, right? Now the resultant vector, we know that by the technique of head to tail rule, the resultant vector is this vector represented with a line R. That is your vector P plus Q. Its Q direction is mentioned in this direction, right? That is your vector P plus Q, and you need to find out the vector Q plus P. First you will start and then I will explain its solution. Q plus P. Start. So I will add the vectors with the technique of parallelogram law of vector addition. And what is parallelogram law? For parallelogram law, the starting point must be same. So that is the starting point of Q. From the same point, I will draw vector P here. So it will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes. I think that is the direction of P vector, right? And I will draw the same vector at this end because it will be a parallelogram, right? Now I will draw the vector Q. The resultant is the diagonal. The resultant is the diagonal. So the resultant of P and Q, or Q plus P, is this one, right? That is the resultant vector with the method of parallelogram law of vector addition. And for parallelogram law, what is the first point? The starting point of both the vectors, they must be same. But in triangular method, we place the second vector at the head of the first vector. That is the difference between these two methods. In the next part, it says P plus Q plus R. Now that is resultant vector of P plus Q, right? I'm not rubbing the red part. It's P plus Q already drawn, and with that P plus Q, we need to add the vector R. So R is straight in the upward direction, and it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 blocks, right? The resultant vector of P plus Q plus R, it is this green vector, right? It's P plus Q plus R. That is the vector, right, class? In the next part it says P plus Q plus R. So first I will find Q plus R. For that purpose, I will draw the vector R at the head of vector Q. So R is vertically above, so that is R, right? And the resultant of Q and R, I'm going to draw with the green pen. Yes. So that is the resultant of Q plus R. Now we need to add P in this vector, right? I will draw P with the black pen. P is in the downward direction, this one. The final answer of P plus Q plus R, this red one, is P plus Q is equals to Q plus P. Now you had find out this by easily your diagram. Is it true or not? If it is true, then it means that vectors holds a commutative law. Similarly, for part C, you can also see from your diagram that if they are same or not. So the answer of part B, it's yes, because vector is a commutative property. Vector holds commutative property, right? You can say that vector addition is commutative, right? We can say that A plus B is equals to B plus A. For part C, yes, it's also proven because vector addition is associative. That property A plus B plus C is equals to A plus B plus C is basically associative property, and vector holds that property, or you can say that vector proves that property, right? So I think that it's quite enough for today, class. Inshallah, next class we are going to continue the same topic with more questions. Till then, you need to practice vectors and you need to do these questions in your graph papers, so it will be very convenient for you to draw the resultant vector. Alright, class, take care and Allah Hafiz.